September 18, 2025, Fort Wayne.
Are we live?
Are we not live yet? No, sorry.
We're good.
We're good, okay. Fort Wayne Public Transportation Corporation to order. Everyone is present, I believe, other than Raleigh Booker. All members, I should say, are present. The first item is going to be the adoption of the agenda, and we do have, I'm going to ask for approval of an amendment. So we are going to add under new business a discussion of dates for the board retreat in January of 2026. So I would ask for a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
We had a motion from Nelson. We had Denny
Dual
tie,
seconds,
so
you
I'll
can
give it to Sharice this time. If it happens again, I'll take it away from Sharice. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify so by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign. Okay, we'll show the amended agenda. Next is the reading, correcting, and approval of minutes from previous meetings. Looks like we have the August 21st Board of Directors minutes.
I've got a question on board action under Roman number 6, resolutions and ordinances. It says that we are approving resolution 2025-6 authorizing the leasing of the fleet services. I think services should probably be removed. Other than that, I move for approval of minutes. Is that correct?
Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Nelson, a second by Kyle, to approve them as amended. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor, please signify so by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign. Okay, we'll approve that as amended. Nelson's motion. Next item is board committee reports. Executive Governance Committee, we did not meet. We had a meeting we postponed. We have rescheduled that, so it's actually September 29th in the afternoon. It'll be our next meeting, and then we'll have our meeting in December, but that's the next one we have. But I don't have any other report in that regard. External stakeholder relations, Palm.
So I have talked to Casey's team on their events. I didn't make the evening event. I ended up spending the evening with my plan commission. So, but the legislative luncheon I thought went very well. The speaker was great, and it was a great event. Our next meeting is November 6th, and they, depending on if special session or something happens, GFW does have a legislative, they do breakfast or lunch, their legislative event scheduled, but it may be rescheduled depending on what happens at the state legislature. So stay tuned.
Okay, and yeah, Casey, I told you the same thing. I went to those events, they were great. The speaker was wonderful. Thank you for all that, all the hard work on that. I did see her at the farmer's market Saturday, and she didn't have a line out the door, but
It's not worth our effort.
she had her son and her husband, and I added my daughter with me, so I think they got to at least 6
We
feet.
need to have people up there.
Yeah. Okay. Performance oversight and monitoring, Nelson.
Our last meeting was August 18th, and our next one is November 17th.
Okay. Planning and development, Sharice.
I don't have a report. We are scheduled to meet on September 24th, but It might be canceled. I don't know that we have a lot to discuss, so I said to Pam, it's like, depending on what comes up at this meeting, if anything comes up, we can meet, but if not, we will likely cancel that meeting. We did meet twice, preparing for budget stuff, so we had plenty of opportunities to meet. So, no report other than that.
Okay, thank you. And Transit Planning Committee, John.
The August meeting was canceled, and so we still have the next meeting for October 13th on our calendars.
Thank you. Next item is the General Manager's CEO report. John, again.
Well, good evening, everyone. A brief report tonight. The outcomes monitoring report is in the packet, and I'm glad to answer any questions that you might have about our progress on the outcomes. In addition to the written report, I want to identify just a couple of additional items. Thank you again to the board and to the staff for so effectively handling Citilink's business while I was out. I want to give Pam kudos for stepping in as acting CEO. Thank you, Pam. That was a lot to do, I'm sure. Also, I'd like to recognize Casey and her team for planning and executing the events last week. My phone blew up with text messages from people who were there and said it was an amazing event, and I heard many positive comments from people who went. So really very pleased to see that that happen. I want to thank Rachel for her work with VIA and Tidewater Transit and getting us prepared for labor negotiations, which resumed again this week. Thank you for that. Good work there. Other items, on Tuesday, Latasha and I will make the budget presentation to City Council. Very happy to see that that's teed up very nicely this year. A lot of work, a lot of groundwork has been laid in meetings with City Council over recent months. So a lot of thanks to Councilwoman Booker, who's really carrying that for us. Megan with the City Council staff, Rachel and Conrad. We had several meetings. Improved communication will hopefully result in less hullabaloo this year on the budget. So fingers crossed for a budget adoption next month. Two other items. Contract talks are underway with the union this week. We're nearing wrapping that up and optimistic that we can end the negotiation tomorrow. It'll be a full day tomorrow. We have a lot of items left open, but everything's moving along very nicely. And so we'll keep you posted on how contract negotiations go. And then on Tuesday next week is the Public Transportation Council of Indiana's annual meeting in Indianapolis. And so Casey and I will go down for that event. Our keynote speaker is the Chief of Staff with INDOT. And there's a panel discussion that includes private sector businesses across the state who support public transit. So the association is really working hard to get better engagement with the private sector, because we think if they can come alongside of us and really make the economic case for investment in public transit, that'll go a long way. You know, we're talking about Cummins engine, Allison transmission, Elkhart coach, and others who are, selling bus and bus-related equipment across the nation and world. So pretty excited about that. So I'll share more information with you when we get back. That's all that I have to report this month.
Well, I've got a question on performance. Did we consciously make an effort to drop the year-to-date ridership from that?
No.
That's a month.
Yeah, it's missing, isn't it? Yeah, it would be.
Another section.
Yeah, I agree that I think, especially as we get into the later half of the year, it's nice to see how we're doing year over year. We can have that information.
Yeah. We used to have it.
Yeah. We'll bring it back.
Okay.
I have a question about, under the ridership report, you have written down that Citilink Enterprise continue to engage with employers to launch van pools. So since we received approval to extend beyond Allen County for van pools, Do we get any credit or any, I don't know, advantage, maybe credit's not the right word, for existing van pool programs that happen regionally?
Yes, so that's the hope. We still have to get city council approval, and then we have to go to Allen County as well, because the interlocal agreements that are made between the counties are between the county governments. And so once the budget is wrapped up, I think we'll get this to city
So there's
council.
more work to do to make that happen,
We need
okay.
to lay some more groundwork.
Okay.
Greater Fort Wayne has agreed to come alongside of us in those conversations, especially with the county. But to answer your question, yes, once we're able to include service in counties around us, anything that enterprises currently operating would be incorporated in our program. So we immediately provide the subsidy and collect the data under ridership.
And how far out will our region go?
So this is one element that, so Enterprise is doing some of that service in Bern, which I think, and those who know the geography, is 2 counties below us. Is that right? I don't. So this is something to look at, but that's one of the major employers, a furniture company that transports a lot of Amish workers from northern Allen County down for jobs there. The legislative change only allows us to enter into those agreements with adjacent counties.
Okay.
So we may want to go back and potentially consider an expanded region. We'll have to.
Wonder if looking at the NERC.
I thought it touches Allen County.
Oh, does it? Okay. I couldn't remember.
I think NERC is 5 counties, right? I wonder if making it like the MPO makes some amount of sense.
Yeah, that does. That would. Tara might know, I'm going to put her on the spot, but there are other van pools that are operating to the north, maybe to Angola. And I think that's an example where there's 2 counties. So we would be able to incorporate those in our service. Is that right, Tara? Is that what you remember?
This is in that.
Orland.
It's on the other poultry farm.
Oh,
So that's,
yeah.
Yeah, so both,
I think the farms, stuff like Warsaw, Costco, the van was taking people from Fort Wayne.
So it could be an opportunity there. It's interesting that these opportunities are 2 counties away.
because
In some cases.
Adams County is just north of us,
I mean,
and Bern is in Adams.
Yeah.
Workers from here.
But I think if we can use the rest of the year to lay that groundwork.
Sure. I just wondered because it just says you're continuing to engage, but I didn't know where we were with the rest of that stuff. Okay.
any other questions for John? Thank you. Next, we have Latasha with the August 2025 financials.
Good evening. So as usual, you have your the August financials in the packet. And we don't really have a different story this month, so bear with me. I'll just try to give you the highlights as usual. We still operated within the budget, and our net earnings are positive before the unbudgeted items. Total expenses were $12.3 million, which is about $900,000 less than the total budget. The expense of $13.1 million year to date. Our cost savings still include our wages, the health savings, the fuel, the vehicle repairs, and the timing of the van pool delay. Our total expenses were higher than the prior year, about 2%. Due to increased wages, the pass-through purchase transportation, higher corporate insurance, offset by vehicle repairs, fuel, and professional. So pretty much the same reasons they've been all year. And As far as the revenue, we were at 12.9 million, which is slightly higher than the prior year. And our operating revenue was higher than the prior year, which is very good. It's been strong with the increased fare structure, increased paratransit ridership year to date. I know it went down, I think, this month. And then also the revised Parkview contract. Non-operating revenue was fairly consistent to the prior year. Looking at comparing our revenues to the budget, we were just lower than the budget, about 7%, and that's just because we haven't used our expected cash reserves as we expected. As far as the local contribution to capital, we are at a little less than 300,000 at this point, which is less than what we budgeted. Budgeted about 737,000. So that's just due to us not buying large buses mainly this year, and this underground storage delay. Our cash position was at 4.5 million, which is slightly down from the previous month, so still fairly good. And that's all I have. I don't know if there's any questions on those highlights. You should have an interim record of transmittals, and then the full one from the prior month was in the packet.
Got a question.
Yes, sir.
Workers' comp is quite a bit over budget, 50%.
I'm sorry.
Workers' comp
Yes, sir. Yeah.
is quite a bit over budget.
Let's see. 67. Let me look into that. I don't know exactly anything, one particular item that's throwing that off. I know we do have some claims this year, so I have to look into it. I can look into it and get you an answer on that, why it's more higher. Any other questions on the budget?
It's the new Equans truck, the information, the GPS technology on the buses. Yeah.
On our bill, where it breaks down, it says general legal work comp matters, but I know we don't have $30,000 in work comp matters for last month. I don't know how that's being applied.
It must have been the employment stuff. It's probably
Okay.
all the 24, 21 hours all together, would
Okay.
be my guess. Because the reason that the other liability is broken down is because when we do travelers, each one has to be separate. So that's why you have like liability, small number, liability, small number.
Yeah.
It's because that's like a per claim thing versus I suspect.
Does that hit the budget under work comp expense then, do you think?
The workers, the claims that are on that bill should be hitting our reserve, it shouldn't go into
Okay.
But the general is going to hit it because that's like negotiations,
Yeah.
that's all that stuff that's lumped up in there, I would assume. I don't see like a detail of
Yeah.
when you, it just says general on the bill.
Okay.
For me, what I don't
So
see
is that from
the,
us then, or is that something internally? Because we can correct that if it's on our end, at least just to clarify, so yeah.
I think the amount is correct. Now, how
Yeah.
you want to label it, maybe how
Yeah.
we label it.
Okay, okay. But I think we've only got 2, and then maybe 3, and one that was semi-wrapped up today.
Well, but then you have the claim that Michelle's handling, and I don't know how that's labeled and what that falls into either. Because that's a 24/21 hour as well.
Yeah, but it's not work comp.
Right, but I'm
Yeah.
saying it's still 24/21 hours, so it may just be getting pumped.
It is could be swept. So if you have those, I know I've seen some discrimination cases on
Yeah.
there and all that's lumped up in there.
Okay.
I think what Rachel was asking was, do we label that? Like, where does your label come from? Is that from us?
I don't have a bill in front of me to probably go
So, I
like
mean,
cross check, but I know when I
Yeah.
see the bill, it's like the way she's doing it. I know some stuff says general, and then some says workers' comp, and some stuff like discrimination. So, like she said, I think you're right that the small amounts are like those individual little traveler claims, and then she probably just lumped the rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the record of transmittals and the interim record of transmittal for September. Second.
We have a motion from Tom and a second from Sharice to approve the August record of transmittals and the September 1st to September 19 interim record of transmittals. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor, please signify so by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign. So that is approved. Thank you. Old business, we don't have any, and new business, the next item is back to attached, so we will go into the authorizing the amendment to Citilink's procurement policy, which was in your packet.
Yes, so I'm gonna just summarize, 'cause I know it's a long document, very big. Thank you to our legal counsel for helping us try to get it updated. It's a massive document. But just to summarize the changes, basically we changed some responsibilities. From, a lot of them were from GM to CFO, which basically what's actually happening. It was kind of outdated. And then there was some outdated language like newspapers, really don't use newspapers anymore. You know, those kind of things. We did change the micro purchase level because I think it was split 3,000 in the document, and now we can be at 10,000 per the federal guidelines. There was a large, like a matrix put in there to make it easier to help us with the clauses that legal helped us with. And there is an update to the federal clauses. So that's just to sum up the majority of the changes. There is a detailed list in the packet if you look through those. One thing that I forgot to put in the big document is that we probably need to put a disclaimer on that matrix because it says all contracts, but for micro purchases, we wouldn't put any of those clauses in there for micro purchases. So just FYI. Other than that, I don't know if there was any questions on the changes or the policy.
$77 pages of, just like titillating reading. So if anybody wants to
If anybody
dive
found a
into
typo.
it, it's, yeah.
Yeah, really did.
If I can just jump in to say thanks so much to you and to Rachel and the team at Rockford for this effort. It's a Herculean effort. This policy hasn't been updated in a major way for a decade. And so it's definitely in need of an update. It's a policy that has a lot of financial risk tied to it because we follow this when we're doing the procurements, and FTA comes in and looks at it every 3 years and wants to make sure we're following the policy. And so a job well done. This gives our staff much clearer guidance on how to buy the stuff we need to operate transit. So thank you.
And even us, like moving forward with the matrix, I pulled Andrew in because he's so good with Word and all of that, but I'm like, I can't. So it'll be great, just even for me, having that as a resource, doing the drafting for the, and I think like with the triennial, procurement is always just such a tricky thing. There's just so many clauses and they're not regulated very well. And so, yeah, I'm excited to have it. So,
And that's where our findings for this year, so,
yeah,
anyway.
my fault.
On clauses. It's really, really detailed for the FTA that it is, so.
So I have a question. So are we authorizing just the amendments, or are you asking us to authorize the amended document? So are we approving the whole document or just the amendments to the document?
I think it would be better to approve the updated document, the
The whole document?
The 2025.
Because it says the action is to authorize the amendments, but I'm thinking that you just want a reauthorization of the entire
Yes.
document.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll present a motion to approve the updated procurement policy as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Sharice and a second by Paul. Any further discussion? Call the question. All those in favor, please signify so by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign. Motion is adopted. Thank you, everybody, for that work. Next item is the amendment to the agenda, which is the discussion of dates, tentative dates, I suppose, for the board retreat in January. John?
Yeah, I was just thinking, trying to remember when we did it in January of this year. I thought we decided to do it on a weekday instead of on a weekend. Am I remembering that correctly? Which seemed to work really well for everybody.
Last, I thought we did it, maybe May 4, waiting on the weekend.
Oh,
Yeah, we did.
That was,
It was the
that
year
was 2 years.
before,
That was
yeah.
2 years ago, we did it.
Yeah, because we were having a really tough time finding a weekend date, so we did.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, so it's totally up to you. We'll make it work. If you prefer to meet on a Saturday, that's great. If you want to do it on a weekday. And on when do you go back in session?
Normally, it's the first week of January, but the speaker's been pushing it further and further back, so I would say probably the week of the 12th, week of the 5th maybe, but more likely the week of the 12th.
Okay.
And in those situations, you're more available on the weekend than
Yes.
weekdays. Yeah.
We'll be in Monday through Thursday.
I just feel like with evening meetings and all the things, sometimes, unless it's like, it's hard to plan in advance for weeknight things, because so many things, at least for me, pop up. I'm sure for Paul, they just pop up during the week. You don't always know from one week to the next when you're going to have to present or do some things. So I would prefer a Saturday would work better for me.
As long as you don't do the 31st or February 7th, I'm good.
You're always on a cruise, aren't you? Yeah. Spend enough time together. I know your vacation schedule.
Well, consistency is key.
January 24th or 17th would be great. So if you're trying to do January and you're trying to do Saturday.
Yeah, those are open for me.
Yeah, me too.
Well, if you like, what I can do is, why don't I send a hold for both of those dates out? One thing we need to talk about is whether we want to bring another consultant in, like Aaron Bigman, to help us with strategy. So that'll allow us a couple of dates of availability for that type of help if we want it. Sound good?
Yeah.
January 17th and 24th in the morning. Okay, thank you.
Okay, next item is communications from the public. There's none, in my understanding. And then board of directors open discussion.
I think the only thing I have, I know people have said it, but Julie and Casey, the whole marketing team there just did such a great job last week. And I sat in on, they also did a presentation at the Inspire conference that I sat in, and you represent Citilink really well. So thank you for all of that. That was a lot of work. And I couldn't go to the Tuesday thing. Well, I did get there late, but it was You guys did a bang-up job that week. That was a lot. So thank you.
Anything else? Anybody else? Not, we will adjourn. Thank you all for coming.